Palma. Oh,
Oh,
that's unfair, and Palma 7 points in the game.
Janelle Fuentes.
Caloocan makes the shot and knocks it down. Gloria is open. 3-point.
My goodness! Face a jumper by Robin Celis.
Caballero has time.
Now it's Martin Rosso. Turnaround jumper. Oh my goodness!
A trip down south for this showdown between one of the top teams in the North Division and of course the reigning South Division champions looking to defend their home court dito sa Quezon Convention Center, and it's a sea of orange in tonight's main game featuring Romel Calahat, who has really thrived under the tutelage of Coach Mike Sagigit so far, and he will take on JP Sarao and the rest of the Quezon Huskers. And since coming over from Parañaque last season has been really impressive, and he looks to help the Quezon Huskers defend their home turf taking on the Caloocan Batang Kangkalu. Magandang gabi mga kaliga. This is the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. Ken Panglinan with Coach Mike Perez. And si Coach Mike, Coach Mike Sagigit, that is. Maganda yung naging impact niya dito sa panig ng Caloocan. They've had that big win against Pampanga, pero ngayon masusubukan sila laban dito sa Quezon.
Oo, ang dami rin kasi mga players na extended na yung minutes para dito kay Coach Mike Sagigit. Comparing them versus Coach Mike Sagigit came in. And the important thing for Caloocan, these players are actually responded, and we'll talk about these guys later in the game.
And these are two of the top 10 defensive teams in the league so far, itong Caloocan and Quezon. And of course, you're watching us live on the official Facebook page and YouTube channel, and we're also live on Solar Sports. And Romel Calahat has certainly been really scintillating since that switch for Caloocan. And for the Caloocan Batang Kangkalu, it's been 3 straight wins, Coach Mike. Nakita natin yung huling laban nila against the Quezon City Galleries Taipan. They were able to buck that slow start in the first 2 quarters and naka-pull away sila in the third.
Yeah, I think 4 straight wins already ito. Yung tatlo doon ang galing sa era ni Coach Mike Sagigit when he came in. And they have definitely found their groove. And but in that game, they led in the first quarter, but definitely outscored itong Galleries Taipan in the third quarter, leading up to that win, to which they led by as much as 19 points. They shot the ball real well. The 3-pointers were coming in, 36% shooting. They controlled the boards pretty much like how Coach Mike Sagigit team would be, and they made the most out of those second chance points, getting 17 points out of the 16 offensive rebounds that these Caloocan guys got in that game.
3 straight under Coach Mike Sagigit, 4th straight overall para dito sa Caloocan Batang Kangkalu, gunning for their 5th consecutive victory going up against the Quezon Huskers. And they traveled all the way up to the north. Kinalaban nila itong Abra Weavers, and they had a good start. In fact, 5-0 yung naging simula nila dito. That was that jumper by LJ Gonzalez to give them that 5-point lead. But etong Abra, nakita natin, they were able to chip away at this lead, and eventually here in the second half, Coach Mike, they were able to hold Quezon to only 23 points.
Oo, tied at the first quarter, pero ang laki ng 13-point run sa second nitong Abra, to which they never really looked back. And so that 10-point loss para dito sa Quezon Huskers. Judel Fuentes had 15 points on a 2 of 10 3-point shooting. Medyo struggle siya doon sa part na yun. Samantalang si LJ Gonzalez had 12, 6 in the first quarter, and really 8 total rebounds for them, and really just so much defensive stuff that the Abra Weavers threw on the 3-point shooters of the Quezon Huskers.
Obviously, Coach Mike, a lot of talent from both sides, but we will key in on these 2 forwards para sa magkabilang kupunan, for Caloocan. We've mentioned already Romel Calahat. He played for San Sebastian in college, and he has really relished this opportunity playing under Coach Mike. Para sa panig naman ng Quezon, coming over nga from the Patriots, ito si JP Sarao. At itong dalawang manlalaro ito, maganda yung naging impact nila para sa kanilang respective squads.
Yeah, agree. And itong dalawang players na to, very similar style of play. 20 more minutes lang ang advantage para dito kay Romel Calahat. Halos pareho ng field goal attempts pagdating sa perimeter, halos pareho ng field goal attempts pagdating sa threes. Pero Calahat, is a better three-point shooter right now at 40% shooting versus maganda rin naman yung percentage nito ni JP Sarao at 36%. It really just shows you the different ways that both these players can actually help out their respective teams, and I'm really looking forward to how these guys will perform one-on-one against each other, especially with Romel Calahat being the go-to guy right now para dito sa Caloocan.
And for more on those two players, let's go courtside to Miss Gianna Leanis.
Ken and Coach Mike, interestingly enough, it was JP Sarao under Coach Mike Sagigit's leadership that prompted Coach Eric Gonzalez to want to acquire him for the Quezon Huskers this season. Last season daw, during the Parañaque and Quezon game, napansin ni Coach Eric na wala sa kanyang big man ay nakakatakas o nakakalagpas sa depensa ni JP. So he thought to himself, wow, this guy will really encourage my big men to mature. Now he describes JP in two words, matalino at matyaga. In terms of our player matchup daw, Coach Mike Sagigit said, it's a great player matchup because just like JP, Romel Calahat is not the biggest big guy, but he plays with the biggest heart. Actually, nung NCAA pa daw ay nagalingan na si Coach Mike dito kay Romel. So when he became head coach of Caloocan, he told Romel, sa wakas, naging player rin kita. Ang maganda daw dito kay Romel is that he's not the biggest big guy, but he's not the smallest guy either. So it's his versatility that makes him effective and impressive. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Gianna. Yun yung kagandaan, no? Nawala man si JP sa poder ni Coach Mike. Ngayon, meron na siyang Romel Calahat dito sa Caloocan Batang Kankalu. And obviously, Caloocan has been amazing under Coach Mike. But equally impressive, ito si JP Sarao under Coach Eric Gonzalez. And those two, should they lock horns, that should be a fun matchup.
Yeah, definitely. And you'll love to see both these guys. Interestingly, pareho naglaro na para kay Coach Mike Sagigit.
And let's see which defense will hold up Caloocan. Number 7 in terms of points allowed. Number 1 pa rin naman ng Quezon despite that loss kontra sa Abra Weavers. And it's a sea of orange in tonight's game, and it's very important, especially Caloocan. They have a chance to move up dahil nga natalo yung Pampanga kahapon laban sa Nueva Ecija. Quezon naman gustong habulin ang Zamboanga. Now, let's get this show started on the roll. Let's go to Richard Campos for the starters.
Your Quezon Huskers, live on Solar Sports. The Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Season 7. Introducing first the starting 5 for Caloocan, Batang Kankalu. Forward number 1, Romel Calahat. Center number 5, Ronnie Matias. Point guard number 16, Irvin Palencia. Two guard number 30, Jeff Manday. Small forward number 24, Brian Enriquez. The head coach, Mike Sagigit, assisted by Philip De La Cruz and Mark Orias. A team manager, Mac Robert Di Chandu. Team governor, Jeremy Dean. Team honors, Mr. Dennis Flores and Congressman Oka Malapitan. And now, for your Quezon Huskers, power forward number 77, Gab Banal. Coming in at center number 19, JP Sarao. Point guard number 13, LJ Gonzalez. At forward number 5, Simon Sandagon. Two guard number 2, Judel Fuentes. The head coach is Eric Gonzalez. Assistant coaches, Richie Dixon, Ash Rosella, Ed De La Torre, Luis Velasco, Jonathan De Guzman, Bernard De Guia, and Jeric Tang. Team manager, Attorney Don Capunan. Team honors, Governor Doc Helen Tan, Congressman Mike Tan.
Starting 5 brought to you by 1xBet, title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Caloocan. Starting off with Irvin Palencia, Jeff Manday, Ronnie Matias, Brian Enriquez, and Romel Calahat. Sa panig ng Quezon, LJ Gonzalez getting a start with Judel Fuentes, JP Sarao, Gab Banal, and Simon Sandagon. And our referees for this ball game, and Mark Rancundo Karina Martin, Leonardo Layosa, and fourth man is Ariel Arce. Parang nawala yata. Mukhang si Romel Calahat nalito kung saan pupunta, no? So, bola ay
Ang dami kasi naka-orange sa loob.
pumunta siya sa sa side ng Quezon ayan, no?
Oh, yeah.
But that does not take away from the last 6 games that he has come up with para dito sa Caloocan.
Oo naman. And Calahat, napakalaki ng... I feel isa na siya sa mga nag-benefit dito sa paglipat ni Coach Mike sa gigit. And just that trust that Coach Mike sa gigit has put on Romel Calahat. And right here, a really strong start for the Quezon Huskers. Quickly involving itong si Gab Banal.
Kita mo yung scoreboard natin, no? Talagang orange na orange eh.
Oo nga.
Parang yung suot ni Val nung isang araw eh.
Ha? Ganun ba suot niya?
Oo, nasa Ambra kami.
Okay.
Diba?
Okay, yeah.
Naka-polo siya na
That's
orange.
right, that's right.
Romel Calahat sent back by Simon Sandagon.
Romel Calahat, if he's gonna put the ball on the floor and try to create against the big men of the Quezon Huskers, it's not going to be that easy.
Oh, Jodel Fuentes going to work early with a free.
You see the demeanor of Jodel Fuentes. No celebrations, no sellies. Just really staying low-key and understanding. I've seen this before. A strong start from me, but I gotta be sustaining it the entire game.
5-0 simula dito ng Quezon. Remember, Caloocan still undefeated under Coach Mike Sagigit. Tres ni Matias, wala. Nakuha ng Quezon ng bola. Skip pass. Cabanal is free for free. Yes!
Oh, yeah. And right now, Ken, the Quezon Huskers are making all the right reads and the right decision. Every time you see that ball on that left side of the floor and you're pushing it transition, swing it the other side, and that guy from 3 is supposed to take it. That time around, Gabanal says, I got this one. We got that 3.
8-0 start for Quezon. Caloocan sues for time.
Nagbabalik po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Both Alvin Abundo and Rodel Gravera will be making the return for the Quezon Huskers today. According to Coach Eric, nagkulang daw ang Huskers pagdating sa ball defense sa huli nilang laro against Abra. Ang kanilang turnovers naman daw resulted in 20 fast break points for their opponent. Kaya sinabihan daw talaga ni Coach Eric ang kanyang kupunan that they must take accountability. Their goal now to bounce back by maintaining this high intensity from start to finish. Ken and Coach Mike?
Thank you so much, Gianna. And that third quarter proved to be their demise. Talking about Quezon. Doon nagsimula yung mga live turnovers nila, Coach Mike eh.
Oo, tsaka huwag nating kalilimutan, not just the live turnovers, it's Dave Aldefonso waking up. He had what? Parang 15 points ba in that quarter if I got my numbers right. And really just an explosive quarter for Dave in that game, which threw Quezon, a little bit off balance, and they played catch up ever since.
And also, if you remember, every time there's a ball screen action involving Dave, nagda-die down yung primary defender.
That's right, that's right.
Valencia could not hit that free. Caloocan still scoreless. 2 minutes gone by in the first period. Campanal thought about it. Draws closer. Using his left hand. Could not finish. Manday, the running start. Stops, pops, makes that shot drop from downtown.
And Jeff Manday continues to be their best three-point shooter so far. He is 34% from there. And normally would attempt about 6 per game, and he'll make almost half of it.
Pass too tight, but the foul called on Caloocan.
Tsaka dito nararamdaman mo on that shot by Jeff Manday, the freedom that Coach Mike Sagigit has given his guys.
3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances. Jeff Manday has hit his stride the last 2 games.
Well, at some point, medyo naka-drop coverage si JP Sarao dun eh. Naabangan niya yung drive ni Manday that never came because Manday understands that's my spot and I can take it.
Fuentes off the bounce. Back-to-back freeze for Jodel Fuentes.
There is no other guy, in my opinion, that's got the sweetest looking jump shot from the outside than Jodel Fuentes. The way that he strokes it, the way that he receives it, the way that he twists his body, the way that he plants his feet on those shots, you always see that he always comes in balanced taking that shot. Look at that. Catch, shoot, money.
Ang bilis niya mag-establish agad eh nung foundation niya in terms of getting off that shot.
At saka pagka-relaxed siya, no, ang ganda ng nagiging result for him.
Dangerous pass. Fuentes intercepts it. Game 3 in a row for Jodel Fuentes.
This is not fair. 4 3-pointers, right? Already for Jodel Fuentes, if I get my count right.
Palencia got fouled.
Or maybe 3. How many 3-pointers?
Tatlo pa lang.
Tatlo, that's 3. The other one's from Gabanal.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Look at that. Well-timed on that cross-court. Enriquez didn't get to it, but just the presence of mind, heat check by Jodel.
Irvin Palencia at the line, getting the start. For Caloocan, they've done this without Chris Bitoon. He hasn't played since their loss against San Juan. But, alam mo eh, next man up mentality na ginangyari dito sa Caloocan. LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL.
Which is really how they've performed. Oh, good pickup there by Irvin Palencia. Got his own miss and stuck it right back.
14-5 is the score. LJ Gonzalez marked by Irvin Palencia. They go at the post. This is our matchup. Kalahat and Sarao, and Kalahat visibly frustrated after whistled for that foul.
Well, JP Sarao got that ball in the corner. And once he saw Kalahat, he had positional advantage. Got that angle, tried to go for it with a left-hand dribble, and just used his foot speed to try and beat that defender to that space on the floor.
JP Sarao at the line was one of the guys responsible for helping Parañaque make it all the way to the South Division semifinals, just losing out to the very same team he's part of right now, itong Quezon Huskers.
At saka si JP has shot well from the perimeter since yung Marikina game nila. He was shooting roughly about 50% of making at least 5 attempts, but he has been on and off sa 3-point shooting niya. So si Ronnie Matias making that shot from there, at least in their last 4 games, you know, on and off yung 3-point shooting para dito kay JP Sarao. And kung ikaw ngayon ng Quezon Huskers, that's something that you miss from JP because he normally, if he does a delay action from top of the key as the big man facilitator and you sag off of him, he will take that shot.
Merong big chunk of time, Coach Mike. Ewan ko naalala mo, we had that conversation na ang tagal niyang wala sa loob in the second half.
Totoo.
Pantay na steal.
In that game against Abra.
Yeah. Great defense by Quezon, forcing Jeff Panday to alter that shot.
And then every time that you're going up against the #1 defensive team, allowing only 65 points for their opponents, you have to be mindful where that defense coming from.
Good recovery here by Quezon. They're still up here, 14-8. LJ pulls up from free. It's good.
Well, these guys are really making up for lost time here. You know, they missed that, you know, hot shooting 3, especially in that game against Abra.
Yun yung tinanggal ng Weavers in that game.
Totoo. This is a team that normally attempts 30 3-pointers and makes almost 10 of them per game. And so they have a really good percentage of where those points are coming from, and a lot of that mostly on threes.
9-point lead past the halfway point of quarter number 1. Diego Dario is in, replacing LJ Gonzalez. Panal, bounce pass, broken up by Ronnie Matias. Caloocan onto the front court. Banday. Panal closing out hard on him.
Yeah, that's the difference right there. That defensive recovery by Gab Banal.
But Banday, credit him, able to get past him but could not finish down low. So actually, maganda yung backdoor cut niya dun. Panal, off the lift. Oh, way off. He knew it as soon as he released it.
Yeah. But let's go back to the previous set defensively para sa Quezon Huskers. Gab Banal did not allow an easy shot for Jeff Manday. Didn't give him that three-pointer. He released that ball, went backdoor on a little give and go with, I think that was Ronnie Matias. But still, Gab went on that chase, challenged that shot.
Alvin Abundo checking in for Jotel Fuentes, Diego Dario, Alvin Abundo, Vince Magbuhos, Al Tamsi, and Joseph Gabayni.
Hello.
Monsubre, nasa loob na rin si Jeremy Cabanag for Caloocan. Pupunta sila sa poste. Ingles. Fadeaway jumper against the outstretched arms of Diego Dario.
I liken Ingles to Elgin Andaya. Very basic players that know how to play perimeter game. And that's how that's their style of play in my opinion.
Kung maalala mo, na-cover natin sila dati. Magkakampi sila nila CJ Alatica. Who was the other guy that I failed to mention? Magkalaban sila eh. Eto Imus versus sa Marikina to nung sa Abra. Diba Imus si CJ? Si Rafco.
Rafael Go.
Silang tatlo
Go,
magkakampi.
right.
Rafco, James Ingles, and CJ Alatica.
Yes.
17-10 is the tally. 7-point lead. Face-up jumper by Joseph Gabayni.
Love that action. Pretty much taken from the playbook of Coach Mike Sagigit. A little triangle offense action right there.
One and done by Caloocan. 19-10, Quezon with a 9-point lead. Abundo can't get past Ronnie Matias. He opts it to dump it down low to Magbuhos. Back to Abundo who fires, could not score. Kasin will bring the ball down for Caloocan. Bounce pass inside, Matias against Magbuhos. Monsubre, well challenged by Joseph Gabayni.
Well, not really a good set for Caloocan right there. They were looking for that post-split action and the weak side guard, a weak side wing rather, which happens to be Jeremy Cabanag, is supposed to show ball side, but he didn't. So that left both big guys. Oh, wow.
Threes have been falling left and right for the Quezon Huskers.
How many threes already? 7, 8? There's been a lot.
Backdoor cut, Prince Kasin gets bumped in the air by Joseph Gabayni. This was a 3 from Diego Dario earlier.
Yeah, you don't go under on Diego Dario. I feel that every guard that they put in for the Quezon Huskers, if that defender goes under, you have to take that shot. You got to take that 3. And so far, they've reaped the benefits of that approach to that high ball screen defense.
Last season, these two teams played that time around sa home court naman ng Caloocan. But Quezon won over the Batang Kangkalu 66-56. That was on June 13 of last year, almost a year ago. So Caloocan wants to get some sort of revenge here as they try to get a road win against the Quezon Huskers. But they're down by a dozen, 22-10, 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 1. The lob inside, Monsubre. Turnovers have been a problem for Caloocan. Abundo, pasa kay Tamsi. Gabayni, extra feed. Vince Magbuhos can't join the scoring parade from downtown. A foul given up by Alvin Abundo.
Well, this Magus, for the most part, that's really one of his favorite spots on the three-point area, that left corner three.
Ito yung interesado ko, no? How Jeff Manday and Jeremy Cabanag will play off each other.
Yes. Your curiosity is the same as mine.
Diba?
You know, itong dalawang ito, understandably, both can score. How will they play together?
Parehong dead shot eh.
Oh, backdoor step right here.
Cabanag, laban kay Dario. Cervantes pops out for a free. Can't get it to go.
Boy, they wanted to make that three for Real Cervantes para to make them pay on that close out.
Dario tries again. That one won't fall. Cabanag the rebound, pushing it. Jeremer lobs it inside. Prince Casin scores.
That's been the best set so far, if you ask me, para dito sa Caloocan. I mean, the way that they run that side of the floor, drive middle, weak side corner, cuts back door. Good finish there for Caloocan.
Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Coach Eric did not like that last defensive sequence. He calls a timeout. Good-sized crowd inside the Quezon Convention Center. The Quezonians, led by, of course, Attorney Don Capunan, have come out in full force supporting their home team as they try to bounce back from that tough road loss kontra sa Abra. Head of Operations Emer Oreta, Commissioner KD, and Rudy Distrito. Of course, a special deal from 1xBet. Scan a QR code and claim your special offer.
And you can feel the Quezon Huskers right now are all business. Really wanting to recover from that loss against Abra.
Hook shot ni Gabayni, gumapang, lumabas, pumasok ulit.
That's very important for Joseph Gabayni to see that play finally go in. At some point in that Abra game and even in the previous game, they tried to run that middle of the floor but to no success para dito kay Gabayni. The defense really just collapsing over him every time. But this time around, he made the most out of it.
High-low play. Pinasig lang dun ni Joseph Gabayni.
And Baitiong wisely just stood his ground, put his hand up, didn't want to get into any foul situations.
Jeremy Cabanag, pasok ang kanyang unang free throw. Cabanag has found the touch in his last 3 games since Coach Mike took over.
Agree.
10.7 points and 5 total threes in the last 3 games.
Yeah, and the thing is, nag-increase din kasi yung minutes niya eh. Simula nung take over si Coach Mike sa Gigit. Previously, he was on the average roughly about 15 minutes per game. Now he's getting 20. And point production-wise, he said it's 10 points per game. But previous to Coach Mike sa Gigit come in, he was just averaging 6 points per game. And so you could tell that shift in favor for Jeremer Cabanag under Coach Mike sa Gigit.
Time winding down in quarter number 1. Diego Dario sneaks past Jeremer Cabanag but can't finish. First quarter comes to a close. That's a hot start by the Quezon Huskers. 8-0. Buoyed by those 3-point shots by Judel Fuentes.
It's really just the Quezon Huskers doing Quezon Huskers things. Getting stops, limiting points to their opponents. This time, just 14 points in this quarter para sa Caloocan. And at the same time, running with a lot of pace, going for those threes and making them.
Judel Fuentes with a total of 9 points, making his 3-pointers. And as a result, Quezon on top of Caloocan at the end of quarter number 1, 24-14. Gixxer fan of the game, born for greatness. And magandang gabi po sa ating mga kaliga. This is a Saturday billing featuring one of the top teams in the North. Laban sa reigning South Division champions, Caloocan kontra Quezon. Second quarter, nagsisimula dito, bola sa panig ng Caloocan. And Coach Mike, you know, this is a good start for Quezon after that tough loss against Abra. They get a reprieve here at home and immediately getting the crowd involved.
Yeah, and the thing is, we've seen this from the Quezon Huskers. Strong quarter starts in the first. And it's a matter of sustaining it now as you go deeper into the quarters.
LJ Gonzalez puts it
Yeah,
up
there you
from
go.
free. Lista mo na.
One, I like that LJ is connecting. Two, I like the look on and the body language of LJ in this match.
2-3 galing kay LJ, 3 kay Judel. Gabanal also had a free earlier. It's 27-14, a steal by Quezon. Fuentes, Gabayni, LJ Gonzalez, Vince Magbuhos, and Wawayero, the unit for Coach Eric Gonzalez. Fuentes, the shot fake, the pass out to LJ Gonzalez against Jeromer Cabanag. LJ got pulled down by Jeromer Cabanag.
And clearly, that was a foul. Jeromer got beat on that drive right side of the floor as LJ tried to spin going middle. He already got beat this side of the floor. There you go. See that left hand holding on to that arm of LJ.
Also in question, no, yung tama sa ulo with his right arm.
Right.
As LJ Gonzalez spun to the lane. What's been the biggest problem so far para dito sa Caloocan?
Well, I think right now it's really just the Quezon Huskers being who they are. I mean, getting stops and making the threes. It's forcing the defense of Caloocan to extend outside. Now, if you're gonna require your players to close out long, you're gonna have to have well-conditioned and very agile players. And for the most part, you've got Ronnie Matias, Real Cervantes, on the big side na medyo challenge kung long close out.
That foul was upgraded to an unsportsmanlike foul. That will be against Jeromer Cabanag for excessive hard contact. So 2 free throws plus ball possession for Quezon. Coach Eric Gonzalez, Coach Nash Racela. By the way, just want to greet a belated happy birthday to Coach Nash's daughter, si Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
I think she celebrated her birthday just the other day. Ngayon ko
Happy
lang nabati
birthday.
kasi parang wala man lang paano pakain Attorney Don Kapunan, kasama si Drin Lahera.
Oh yeah, it's good to see Attorney Don let off a little smile, a little bit.
Ay, hindi ko malilimutan yung array of emotions niya during
During the
that
upper
South
game.
Division Finals.
Finals,
Di ba?
right? Oh yeah.
Laban sa Batangas City.
Mhm.
Lalo nung they thought they were out of it in game number 2 before that comeback punctuated by that putback by Jason Opiso.
Oh yeah. Boy, me and Chief Sidel was there, front and center. Boy, that putback. I'd say that putback of Jason Opiso would be a couple of levels lower than the half-court heave of Keanu Caballero, but it's up there
Oo.
considering the magnitude of that game.
Nakikipagkaldagan si Cervantes laban kay Sandagon.
Yeah.
2 FEU guys going at it. But Cervantes unable to convert.
Downhill right side of the floor, that's free.
Daming taga FEU dito. LJ, Simon, Cervantes, Fuentes, taga CEU. with his 4th triple of the ball game.
And so far, no one has checked on Judel Fuentes. Every time he catches that ball, he's on that flow, he's on that form, on that really good release, and he's starting to feel good about it. Somebody's got to stop Judel Fuentes if you're Caloocan.
Bumagsak si Palencia, walang tawag. Fuentes. He relocates. Di siya napasahan doon ni Wawayero. Now it's Gonzalez. Release pass, Sarao.
That's it.
For free, no.
That's the 3 that I was talking about. That's something that you want to see from JP Sarao. He's gonna get those looks from top of the key 3.
Real Cervantes. Sa poste ulit, laban kay Sandagon. Real. 9 on their shot clock. The veteran against the youngster. And the young gun called for that foul.
Yeah. That's where you would definitely need that power to defend against Real Cervantes. Remember we talked about in the previous game earlier that speed and power are a combination of things that you need if you want to defend. That time around it was the length of the floor, so you're near the post. You have to have power to sustain those bumps from Real Cervantes.
Sarao switches on to Real Cervantes. Jeff Banday off that pick. Can't get it to go. Cervantes steps in for free, way off the mark.
And equally, as JP Sarao is deadly from top of the key 3, you can say the same for Real Cervantes. Now, is it an indication of the pace of the game being played, getting to these guys? I don't know. Kasi bilis rin ang laro, no?
Oo. Cervantes gets a breather. In comes JJ Manlangit. Sandagon, nasa bench na rin. Pinaltan siya muna dito ni Rodel Gravera. LJ drives left. Pulls it back out to JP Sarao. Sarao in trouble. And he traveled.
Boy, I think that they're not going to challenge this. I don't think JP Sarao traveled that time.
Ang kinokontest niya, natapik daw eh.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Sanga comes in.
Naked eye didn't look like a travel. At least from where we sit.
JJ Manlangit catches the pass from Palencia. Paul Sanga kakapasok lang for Caloocan. They go through the motions. Paul Sanga gets free. Unfortunately, an offensive foul called on the Batang Kangkalu.
Yeah.
That
Again,
was a great set actually, Coach Mike.
agree. They tried to weave up top to free up eventually itong si Paul Sanga, but just the commitment to defense by Gabanal, and we've seen that earlier, really just refusing to get screened. He was trying to fight through it.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's a tough call on
Tough
Irvin
call.
Palencia.
tough call. It looked like he was just there. And Gab got into it.
And that's why Palencia was visibly upset after he discovered that that foul was called on him. Ganda nung set eh, misdirection, nakita mo Paul Sanga able to free himself up from that staggered screen.
Right. That weave up high. And really just trying to move the ball around. Waiting until that final moment where your primary shooter in Paul Sanga is there on that spot.
Pero even though, tignan natin kung it will eventually really be an offensive foul. Pero dun mo nakita sa set na yun, yung yung imprint ni Coach Mike. Na, of course, he always prides himself in those kinds of plays. Ball movement, player movement, moving well without the basketball.
Now, if you're a Caloocan fan, aside from dun sa magandang ball movement na yun, na nagugustuhan mo dito is that Ronnie Matias is back on the floor.
All right, we'll pause for a break. We'll be back.
Upon review, the last attempt will count. Paul Sanga, 3 points. A foul after the basket committed by number 16, Irvin Valencia. His
Okay,
first.
so na-review nila kung counted
Kung counted, yeah.
yung tira ni Paul.
But that foul will stay with Irvin Palencia. See right there, this sweep. Oh, yeah.
Na-release na eh.
Yeah. But it did look like Irvin slightly went the path of
Okay.
Gab.
Dito kasi sa angle
Sa ito, iba eh.
Iba eh.
Oo.
On the previous angle,
It showed a little bit
Yes.
towards the path of Gab. Gab had a straight run to avoid that screen.
that's a big basket. It cuts the lead down to 15. 32-17. And let's see if Caloocan could benefit from that major lull during the review. Fuentes can't get it to go. Manday with a running start. Again for free. No good. Battle for the ball. It ends up with Quezon.
Yan ang magiging mahalaga para dito sa Caloocan in my opinion. If they continue to take threes, it means it's going to be long rebounds. And so you have to have long rebounders available to chase down on the 50-50 rebounds and get it. I'd say pag ganon, mas advantage ang Quezon Huskers because their bigs are a little bit more mobile compared to Caloocan.
Fuentes, pasa palabas kay Gab Banal. Bounce
Nice
pass,
pass.
great cut. Man, that was exquisite timing on that pass by Gab Banal.
Ang ganda nung vision, yung read, yung decision ni Gab Banal. And even on that dive by JP Sarao, he was practically that only guy on that left side of the floor. Everybody was going towards Gab Banal.
This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Pasok ang unang free throw ni JP Sarao. Christian Pagaran, not in uniform today.
At saka si JP Sarao has consistently scored double digits with at least 5 rebounds prior to that game versus Abra. Pero versus Abra, he only had 6 points despite still getting his 5 boards. So, gusto mo yun makapuntos itong si JP Sarao sa mga big games na ganun no?
Yeah. JJ Manlangit gives it up to Paul Sanga. In his grill, Gab Banal, 2 veterans going at it. Matias stopped in his tracks by Sarao. 4 seconds remaining on their shot clock. Manlangit puts up a free. Can't get it to go. Manday gives it another possession. Ronnie Matias had to adjust his shot. And Quezon forcing a miss. Gravera gives it up to Gab Banal. Past the halfway point.
Oh, wow.
Jodel Fuentes! Almost the tap! Working for Rodel Gravera.
Talino ni Jodel Fuentes. Naka-steady lang siya doon. Inaantay niya kung anong gagawin ni JP Sarao. Nung dribble towards sa kanya, saka siya bumaktor. Pero how about the recovery? Ganda.
36-17. Manlangit. Bounces out. JP Sarao toughens it out for that rebound. Quezon seems like the much sharper team at the moment. Gonzalez, bounce pass, Sarao again with a cut in the basket.
Oh my God.
Man, JP Sarao making mincemeat of the defense of Caloocan.
Enough of a standstill JP Sarao. We want a weak side cutting JP Sarao and he has obliged these Huskers and the Huskers have rewarded them with really good passes in the basket.
Play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. This lead has ballooned to its biggest at 21, 38-17. Jodel Fuentes, a total of 15 points against Abra. 13 of those coming in the second quarter. 6 of 17 shooting from the field. Tonight, has made all 4 of his 3-point attempts for a total of 12.
Alam mo, mas maganda dyan kung ikaw ay Quezon Huskers fan. It's the way that he's taking these shots. He seems free taking it. Ganda ng flow.
Off to a good start again. Although in that game against Abra, yung 15 points na yun, it came in the first 2 quarters. He did
Yes.
not have any points in the second half. But this is a much different story. They had a good start. Caloocan, a bit flat. And as a result, abante sila ngayon ng 21 puntos, 38-17.
Yeah, and this is definitely so much different.
Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer.
Yeah, this is so much different scoring para kay Jodel Fuentes. He was 2 out of 10 from 3 in that game against Abra. And those shots he took for the most part in the first half. But right now, he's just flowing into those spots, into those shots.
Irvin Valencia against Jodel Fuentes. Can't turn the corner. Kalahat can't bail them out with a 3. 1 and done. That's been mostly the possessions for Caloocan.
Tsaka no driving lanes. That's given Caloocan. That's a turnover right there. But they have not given a straight driving lane for Caloocan. Speaking of the Quezon Huskers, and Coach Eric and the coaching staff of the Huskers, I'd like to think, are happy where they are now defensively against Caloocan.
Quezon is the #1 defensive team in the league this season for a reason. Holding down Caloocan to only 17 points. Manlangit missing everything on that shot. Fuentes will bring the ball down for the Quezon Huskers. Gab Banal. Entry pass to JP Sarao at the post. Sarao up and under. The pass to Sandagon. Too tight. Kalahat grabs down the rebound. Paul Sanga as Gab Banal committed the foul.
Kita mo yun, yung pag-rise, pag-lift ni Paul Sanga after that dribble handoff action. He really could not catch and shoot because pinag-iisip siya ng depensa ni Gab Banal, di ba? Hindi siya talaga iniiwan ni Gab. They know that's their primary 3-point shooter aside from Jeff Manday. But right now on the floor, it's really just Paul who can hurt them from 3.
Coach Mike bumunot na dito. Chris Torado comes in. Jeremy Cabanag, 6 seconds on their shot clock. Manlangit finally buries a free, much needed basket for Caloocan.
Yeah, definitely. Kailangan nila yan. Galing kay Manlangit. Somebody else gotta knock down those shots.
Sandagon fires a pass to Gabanal. Working against Paul Sanga. Pulls up for that midi.
And outside of JP Sarao and Jodel Fuentes, Gab Banal might just be one of the more efficient guys right now on the floor para dito sa Quezon Huskers.
Probably his worst season production-wise for Gab Banal, but he's been doing it on both sides of the floor. Jeremy Cabanag, meanwhile, called for that offensive foul.
Yeah, and they're not giving anything easy from the perimeter.
An ovation for the homegrown Lucena's very own Topeng Lagrama.
And this is matching up.
Gandang
Topeng
matchup.
on Torado, yeah.
Oo. Ito parehong maliit pero nakakapuwing. Lagrama and Torado.
And you have to watch out for Alvin Abundo. He's been just holding that corner 3.
Sandagon, one-hander, gets the friendly bounce. 42-20. A minute and 30 left in quarter number 2. Torado, crossover, floats one up and in.
And Torado loving this matchup against Topeng Lagrama.
Nakasona ngayon ang Caloocan. 2-3 zone. Skip pass. Abundo. Stop in his tracks by Kalahat. Lagrama, swing pass to Magbuhos. Lagrama with 5 on their shot clock. Offense has stalled, but Lagrama takes it anyway. Gabanal giving them an extra possession. Foul call on Caloocan. They are in penalty. That's a tough break for the Batang Kangkalu. Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Where would this game be without Gabanal? I mean, he's doing the little things, the non-Jodel Fuentes things. Defending, assisting, rebounding. He's just been a big help para dito sa Huskers.
Umalog palabas yung free throw ni Simon Sandagon. 53 seconds left in the second period. 1 out of 2.
So far, Caloocan has only scored 8 points this quarter.
Yeah.
They were 14 at the end of the first.
Quezon Huskers just clamping down on the 22 points lang ang Caloocan.
Boy, everybody's just chasing over screens. Nobody's going under for the Huskers. And if he gets beat, they'll have
switch.
somebody recover. Yeah, they switch.
That's a great slip from Romel Kalahat.
One of the fewest times that they've executed very well itong Caloocan. You like that they used a lot of clock, waited for that moment that the rotation was late before they started attacking.
Coach Eric Gonzalez again, despite this big lead.
Yeah. He did not like that switch kasi. Yung tumama yung screen tas nagkapalit sila, and definitely that was size advantage favor for Caloocan.
Quezon using their timeout. They're still up though by 19, 43-24. Romel Kalahat against Quezon City, 22 points. We mentioned that big third quarter run by Caloocan. He had 18 of those in that particular frame. In fact, outscoring the entire Quezon City squad in that game, in that quarter rather, 18-11.
And this is an improving Kalahat, if you ask me. In the first 10 games of the season, he averaged 8.9 points per game. In the last 3 games, and prior to Coach Mike coming in, Romel averaged already 12 points per game simula nung pumasok itong si Coach Mike. So ang laki nung in-improve niya, and right now that 65% shooting as well is helping him out. But so far in this game, it's been a struggle for Kalahat only because the defense has been awesome for the Huskers.
Altamsi launches, left it short. The tap by Magbuhos to Lagrama. Shot clock turned off here.
Look at how they've opened that middle side of the floor.
3 seconds remaining. Lagrama, long free! How about that? The homegrown Topeng Lagrama punctuating quarter number 2 with that long 3-point bomb.
Kakaiba pag naglalaro ka at home, especially if you're one of the most loved homegrowns. And Topeng Lagrama just gives it right back to these fans, these Quezon Huskers. A huge and really good first half for the Huskers.
And just merciless, especially on the defensive side of the floor. And the Quezon Huskers with Topeng Lagrama firing up the crowd. Big free to end the second quarter. And a great start to this homecoming at the half. Quezon in front of Caloocan, 46-24.
is annihilating Oscar De La Hoya. That is the most spectacular one-punch set of Manny Pacquiao's incredible career. And he fights his way off and goes down again. Straight left land for Manny. Does he have Cotto in trouble? Manny Pacquiao is a storm. Another huge left hand by Pacquiao. Punch after punch after punch. And he finds the straight left hand. And there's the punching power. Look at the brilliant accuracy of Manny Pacquiao. Landing with both right and left hands. This is why we use the word sensation.
We are still live here at the Quezon Convention Center for Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. It is halftime of our main game for tonight between Quezon and Caloocan. The score is 48-26 in favor of Quezon. And with me right now is the assistant coach of the Quezon Huskers, Assistant Coach Jeric Teng. Coach Jeric, kwento nga ni Coach Eric from your last game that you had a lot of learnings. It was a learning experience. Ano yung mga natutunan niyo doon?
Basically, watching our game against Abra, talagang very evident that we lacked energy sa defense, especially on defense. So coming to this game, sabi namin, yung defense namin parang personal. We have to take it as a challenge na talagang to stop their main players.
Now, Coach Jeric, I also want to say congratulations because you are also now Counselor, Jeric. I'm sure na isa sa mga advokasya mo sa Gumaka Quezon is the importance of sports for the youth. How are you implementing that?
Siyempre, yan ang talaga nais kong tutukan talaga sa amin, sa Gumaka Quezon, yung sports dahil I believe through experience, my personal experience, yung sports talaga, it's about building the character of the kids. Habang bata pa sila, natututo sila magsipag, natututo sila ng disiplina, and how to accept defeats.
I'm sure that a huge motivation for you as well, of course, is seeing all of the people here always supporting the Quezon Huskers. Ano naman ang magiging mensahe mo sa lahat na nandito ngayon sa Quezon Convention Center?
Sa lahat na nanonood right now sa Convention Center, maraming salamat po sa inyong suporta. Ganyan din mga nanonood sa amin sa live, may it be on YouTube or Facebook. Maraming salamat po sa walang sawang suporta. Siyempre po, binabati ko po namin ang aming mga team owners, sumusuporta po sa amin, si Governor Dr. Helen Tan, andito rin po ang boss po namin, si Boss R.D. Ronel Tan. Siyempre po, andyan po si Congressman Attorney Mike Tan, si Bokal Doc Kim Tan, I think andyan din po si Vice Governor Third Alcala, andyan din po sa sumusuporta sa amin, si Mayor Ralph Lim, si Attorney Don Kapunan. Siyempre po sa mga kababayan ko po dyan sa Gumaka Quezon, kita-kita po tayo bukas. Meron pong Stan Basketball Academy one-day league para sa mga kabataan natin. Suportahan po natin sila at panoorin. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Counselor Jeric Tan, the assistant coach of the Quezon Huskers. Ako po si Gianna Llanes at magbabalik po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.
At the half-hour score, 24 for the Caloocan Batang Kangkalu, 46 for the home team, the Quezon Huskers. And Coach Mike, babalikan natin itong first half. This was some sort of a suffocating defense displayed here by the Quezon Huskers over the Caloocan Batang Kangkalu.
Yeah, matter of fact, it was so suffocating that despite, part of getting only 31% field goal makes, now no Caloocan player scored above 3 points. And everyone else only had 1 field goal in that first half. 6 turnovers forced, but Quezon made the most out of it, getting 7 points. Pero yung assist, ang laki ng disparity. That's a +6 apart from yung 50% shooting on a 9 of 18 3-point makes para dito sa Quezon Huskers. That I feel is a huge difference maker in this match. And both coaches have actually fielded everyone on the roster right now available for this game.
Siguro kung sa baraha to, maganda yung tatlong tres eh.
Oo.
Quadro tres.
Tres, oo.
Kaya lang, yun nga kasing depensa na pinapakita ng Quezon. Ganong ka-stingy yung kanilang defense as Judel Fuentes, again, with a hot start in the first half. 12 points. LJ Gonzalez with 8. Gab Banal, 7 points. And collective effort on the side of Quezon. But good news for Caloocan. Still 2 more quarters to go. But man, just 24 points in the first half. 10 points in the second frame.
Oo, totoo yan. Tsaka, LJ Gonzalez and Judel Fuentes are 6 of 6 from 3. 4 from Judel, a couple from LJ Gonzalez. And those guys are really just playing with that good sense of flow. And now, this is the third quarter. If you're the Huskers, I'm sure you want to forget what happened in the first half and start out good. And forget what the score is. And just keep doing your things.
Just 11 seconds into the third, Gab Banal looks like he's called for that unsportsmanlike foul as Coach Eric is walking to the side of Jaggy Laude.
Yeah, earlier Coach Eric was actually talking to Jaggy Laude, and I'm sure he's a bit surprised that immediately, very first 11 seconds nga of the third, and Laude gets hurt. Seems to be okay.
Trying to shake it off, Jaggy Laude. Wala naman negative reaction from him as he got up. And interesting itong lima ni Coach Mike. Got Cristorado, Jaggy Laude, who seldomly played. Jeff Manday, Ronnie Matias, and Romel Calahat. Sa palig naman ni Coach Eric, Gab Banal, LJ Gonzalez, Judel Fuentes, JP Sarao, and Simon Sandagon. Ooh.
The one review, it was an unsportsmanlike foul on number 77, Campanal, for excessive hard contact. His second.
That was an elbow? To the
elbow.
Yeah.
Not sure if it was intentional or not. But nonetheless, Laude will shoot 2 shots plus ball possession for Caloocan.
Yeah, and so if you're Coach Eric and the Huskers, relatively not a good start to the third. You saw a missed jumper by Judel Fuentes, and you got a sportsmanlike for Gabanal, who we were discussing earlier, has actually done all the non-Judel, non-LJ stuff.
Parang pa-box out kasi si Gab nun eh. And it just so happened that his right elbow hit the jaw of Joggy Laude.
Parang nakatalikod rin si Jaggy, no? Parang hindi rin niya nakita. Eh.
Turnovers continue to be a problem. Sandagon, almost another slam. Foul given up by Caloocan.
And they had to hurry back. They understand that there's an open space. And now they tried to challenge that.
2-foot jumper talaga to si Sandagon. I tell you, this guy probably has the most two-handed dunks in the MPBL.
And that's why he's called Simon Slamdagon.
Galing ni Javi, no? Siya nag-coin pala nun.
Well, according to Javi, sabi niya somebody from the Quezon Huskers actually gave him that idea. It could be called Simon Slamdagon. And in one of the coverage from last season, nagamit siya ni Javi. And ang ganda eh, di ba?
Bagay naman kasi.
Oo.
Another review here. Not sure if, ano ba, unsportsmanlike foul ba? Tinitignan nila dito.
Tingnan nila kung may tama yata sa ulo. If there's a hit on the head.
Yeah, and a referee is walking towards Richard Campos right now.
And the line for 2.
Just a normal foul.
Normal foul, right.
Sandagon at the line. Averaging the second most minutes for Quezon this season. You know what's impressive about Quezon? Not one guy is averaging at least 20 minutes per game. This free throw, din sa atin na Extreme Appliances ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Coach Eric Gonzalez really runs a deep rotation. Usually 11-man deep yan eh.
Oo.
Si Christian Pagaran, wala din pa. In street floats today. Matias, wala pa din. Another opportunity for Caloocan. 10 seconds on their shot. Lactorado, kick out pass. Romel Calahat. Nakabuelo. Pepuersa, nakabingwit ng foul. Laban kay Simon Sandagon.
And that, I think, is something that they would love for Calahat to do. Go middle of the lane with the left-hand dribble and make it tough for him to finish once he gets to that side on the outer thirds of the floor.
Romel Calahat makes good on the first free throw. Let's check in with Gianna Lianes.
Nagulat daw si Romel Calahat sa kanyang Best Player of the Game honors last game dahil ang focus daw talaga niya sa game ay being a defensive player, especially on rebounding. He adds na his first few seasons playing for the MPBL were tough. But once he moved to Caloocan, he was reminded of his abilities. Malaking bagay din daw sa kumpiyansa niya ang pagpasok ni Coach Mike sa gigit as their head coach, always reassuring Romel that he is good enough to not just contribute but also lead. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Gianna. And, you know, it's been evident in his last 4 games under Coach Mike na mayroong uptick sa production eh. And yung kumpiyansa na kaakibat nun, it's really telling. And alam mo kasi mga gantong klaseng player, gustong-gusto ni Coach Mike yung ganyan eh.
Oo. At saka ang key indicator nung trust sa kanya ni Coach Mike sa gigit is yung increase din sa minutes on the floor.
Yeah.
He's a +5 in terms of minutes, comparing him to how he was before Coach Mike came in. Not that he didn't get enough minutes on the previous coaching staff, but right now mas lalong tumaas yung minuto para dito kay Romel Calahat. Is it justifiable to do that? I think yes, because Romel's been giving them a lot.
Pass broken up, but Caloocan recovers. Pull-up shot by Joggy Laude is good.
Joggy Laude might be the spark that they need off the bench.
Someone's gonna be warned for the layoff game here.
Naka-full court pressure na dito ang Caloocan. I'm sure the goal is to try for Quezon to use as much clock as they can and then to slow down the game a little bit, because these guys play with a lot of pace once in the front court. And JP Sarao adding on to his point total.
49-29, the drive, the foul. 2 more free throws coming up.
Sobrang bilis rin talaga nito ni Torado.
It's a great move on the game, born for greatness.
Yung drive na yun, ang linis. Hindi maka-stunt tulong si Kalahat kasi may shooter siya sa corner. I think it was Judel on that same side of the floor as a tandem with JP Sarao.
Sorry, baseline inbound para dito sa Caloocan.
Middle.
Kalahat. Laude laban kay Gabanal. Joggy forcing it. Gets the friendly bounce. 5 points for Joggy Laude.
He's the high scorer so far para dito sa Caloocan, and his presence and his energy has brought things here favorable para sa Caloocan. So they're still down 18 but they're on a good run.
Sino bang magkakala si Joggy Laude pa, no? Yung magkaaroon ng 2 field goals. Kalahat magbuhos, jockeying for position. Kalahat receives the pass. No handoff, Kalahat. And magbuhos, man. Those two have been going at it.
And Vince is always gonna keep himself attached to Kalahat. They are not allowing Kalahat an easy situation of ball on the floor move.
A second remaining, catch and shoot. Jeff Pantay, no. Shot clock violation against the Batang Kangkalu. .29 remaining here in the 3rd period.
And this full court press, so far, they've done this 3 times already. It's really slowed down the Huskers.
Fuentes is free, for free.
Yeah.
Lista mo na!
Well, that's something you're giving up. If you've got a shooter on the backside of that full court press, you have to be mindful where he is. Oh, another close miss.
Matias blowing it. 52-31. LJ straight to the cup. Left it short. Tapik. Napunta kay Manday. Behind the back. Pulls it back out. Manday surveying the floor. Guarded by Sarao. Bounce pass to Ronnie Matias. Against Gab Banal. Ooh! Kanina pa sila eh. Silang dalawa kanina pa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's a couple. They should review this. And the thing is, see right here, sabi mo nga kanina pa sila eh, no?
Oh,
And
ayan.
that's one. The foul got called. And there's another one.
And that's part of Romel Calahan's growth.
Yes.
Because I remember there was, hindi ko maalala kung sino yung kalaban nila eh. Involved din doon si James Ingles. Pero nagulat tayong lahat na si Romel Calahat got thrown out. And nung multiple reviews,
Lumabas,
sumuntok pala siya.
Sumuntok nga siya, right.
Diba?
I forgot what that game was, but I do recall.
Rizal yata yun eh. Rizal yata kalaban nila nun.
Yun yung close game, yun yung close game,
Oo, yun
right.
yung close game.
Sa Paco.
Sa Paco,
Really,
diba?
that's right. But definitely, how the Huskers have been playing defense is almost single coverage. I mean, you got your man, you be responsible, and you make sure they don't score. You influence them to their weak hand, and that's just how it's been. We've rarely do we see, if not none, of a double team, no? Even refusing to get screened itong Quezon Huskers.
Offensive foul on number 1, Romel Calahat. That's his 3rd foul. Team foul number 2 for Caloocan.
Well, that's just a regular offensive foul for Romel Calahat.
Well, to be fair, I don't think naman, tingnan natin ito. Ito yun. This was the offensive foul sa mukha. Ang titignan mo dyan, yung kasunod. As he was approaching towards Vince.
Ika nga ni Coach Louie Gonzalez, message sent.
Alam mo, nabanggit mo lang si Coach Louie. Ewan ko nanonood siya ngayon. Ilagan na lang hindi ko pa na-cover na game.
Ah,
this
talaga?
season. Seryoso.
Malay mo naman, marami naman pagkakataon.
Yan natin. I'd love to cover an Ilagan game. That was a bunch of guys have been turning heads
Oh,
despite
no.
their record. Oh, Fuentes!
no.
Same spot, same result. Another made free.
Jadel Fuentes in this half is 2 out of 3 from threes on that side of the floor. He missed the first one. He made a couple in succession. And if he just keeps on camping on that back side of the defense,
Three-point
tough.
shot. Three-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
linis ng tira no?
18 points for Jodel Fuentes. Naging public enemy number 1. Bigla si Romel Kalahat. And he's showing out to the crowd right now after that made free throw.
That's just gamesmanship. Romel Kalahat is one of the more competitive men of Coach Mike Sagigit right now on his side of the bench.
Makes another free throw. Mapapaltan muna siya dito ni Real Cervantes.
Palamig muna ng konti. Kasi sobrang halaga ni Romel Kalahat to just fall into those situations.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL.
Nice
cut. Gabanal overcooks the layup though.
Ganda ng pasa.
Torado, kick out. Laude to Cervantes. Back to Torado. Chris turns the corner. Leaves it to Ronnie Matias. Spins. Can't will that one in. Gabanal the rebound.
That's how tough it's been to score inside.
Magbuhos. That one bounces out. Torado grabs it. Matias.
Ooh.
Foul against Caloocan after Ronnie Matias lost the basketball.
The bigs of Caloocan really can't catch a rhythm right now.
And I don't think that was a good pass from Torado either. As
Could have brought that ball down the floor instead.
masyado mababa eh. Tapos under the wrist. 55-33. Gonzalez approaching the halfway point of the third. LJ. Libre si Magbuhos sa kabila. Wala pa din. Manday tatakbo para sa Caloocan. Nagmamadali. Jeff Manday lost it. Turnover again.
Did you see what LJ Gonzalez just did?
Yeah.
He came in chasing. Coaches would call that a ball tap. If you lose the ball and the ball is going down the floor and you're in the proximity of that ball handler, try ball tapping. That's exactly what he did. Grabe yung commitment sa depensa.
Fuentes off that screen. Gonzalez working with Magbuhos.
Empty ball screen.
Facing a double team, skip pass. Altamsi
Nice
lets
fake.
Cabanal fly by for a free!
Oh my God. That side of the floor has got to be the hottest part para sa Huskers.
Kanina pa, that right wing triple.
Yeah.
Quezon with 12 3-point shots converted. Ristorado with an inside incursion.
Pero ang mabigat kasi doon, Ken, yung mga tira, halos unchallenged because of that ball reversal, ano?
Ganda ng ball movement ngayon ng Quezon.
Again, this is empty ball screen here, left side of the floor.
Watch out for that weak side. Foul called on Caloocan. Their last foul to give. Play of the game. Atid sa atin ng 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Ganda ng pagkakaswing ng bola na yon. And si Tamsi is a 34% three-point shooter. Almost 5 attempts and 2 makes per game.
Diego Dario whips a pass to Tamsi. Back to Diego. Dario with 5 on their shot clock. Valencia in his grill. Tamsi, another one. Yes! Oh man, the floodgates have opened here in Lucena. And another turnover committed by Caloocan. 13 of 26. That's Quezon.
Yeah, and the Quezon Huskers average, again, we talked about this earlier, roughly about 30 3-point attempts per game. They make 10 of it. And right now, they've taken 25 and made 12 out of it, and that's so much above their normal average of threes.
Gravera, mid-range jumper, umalog palabas. Kabanag. Sasalaksak. Leans right. Can't get it to go. Pahirapan, mga puntos para sa Caloocan. Foul given up by Real, but they are in penalty. Free throws coming up for Alvin Abundo.
And the Huskers are gonna continue to push the pace, especially on misses and live turnovers. They don't wanna inbound from the back and deal with the full court pressure of Coach Mike Sagigit's team, because it really slows them down. Although they've done a good job of solving it, but still they want to play with a lot of pace.
Bundo on the line, good on the first. Attorney Don Kapunan is a happy man right now. His team comfortably ahead, 27 points. Two for two. 3 minutes left in the third. 63-35. Kabanag steps in, and he gets fouled by Joseph Gabayni.
I'm not sure if Coach Eric wanted that, or Coach Richie wanted that switch on that jump stop action by Jeremy Cabanag, but at least they tried to make it difficult for Jeremy to even score that point. Hasn't gotten himself going itong si Jeremy Cabanag.
And Coach Mike, I think in these types of games, dito na nila nami-miss yung services ni Crispy Toon.
Exactly. Yun talaga. Yung leadership, to facilitate the offense. Oh, Diego Dario.
Because I feel like he is the single guy here that could break his defender down the dribble, make plays off pick and roll actions. Kumbaga siya yung talagang playmaker nila eh.
And he's a lefty.
Isa pa yun.
Yeah. And so if you're trying to influence left side of the floor, walang problema yun kay Chris Butoon.
Pag yung mga ganitong sitwasyon na sobrang umagagat yung depensa ng kalaban, you need guys like that could bail you out.
That's right. And right there at that moment, with that switch coming, and Real had to take on Diego Dario. Diego was, setting him up to be drawn out, and so that from that point he'd have positional advantage, turn to his foot speed, and try to make it a chase to an open space.
Diego Dario at the line. Spent a lot of years with UP in high school, in college. 64-39. Kahit si Joko Tayongtong wala rin dito for Caloocan eh.
Oh yeah, that's one other guy.
Di ba?
Kaya kulang yung rotation sa guardia.
Yes.
That's right. But you still have Irvin Palencia, who's pretty much, if not close, at least legit na point guard.
Oo. Silang dalawa ni Torado nagpapalitan eh.
Oo.
Turnover na naman. Abundo with a layup.
That's 19 points of turnovers already out of the 12 turnovers that they forced on Caloocan.
Ayan yung problema nila eh. Wala silang manlalaro ngayon that could initiate offense for them.
They really have tried to set up a scheme, pero the defense has made it tough for them.
Fast break of the game. Atid sa atin ang Stream X Pop, personal karaoke speaker. Everyday karaoke.
Ken, at gusto ko lang batiin yung mga childhood friends ko. May reunion kami today. Mukhang hindi ko alam kung aabot ako sa Tagaytay. I wanna say happy viewing to the Abachi gang of Chris Ortiz, Paulo Latorre, Joey Gustilo, Mike Chan, Edward Hernandez, Eric Hernandez, Manny Alvarez, Bimboy Lim, and the twins, Edward and Edmond Pacificar. And those guys I grew up playing with in our village in Villa Carolina 1. So hopefully I'll get to catch up with you guys mamaya.
Points off turnovers. 12 turnovers for Caloocan, resulting to 19 points off those for Quezon. Yan yung ginawa sa kanila ng Abra eh. Ngayon, ginagawa ng Quezon laban sa Caloocan.
Oo. But I think ang difference to this version of the Quezon Huskers, that ball is moving.
Yeah.
It's not sticking. Nobody is holding on to the ball for quite a long time and quickly making decisions.
Joseph Cabaini, no. Valencia the rebound. They need to push. Inside, Real Cervantes finally gets the deuce. Malayo-layo pa, kailangan nabulin ng Caloocan. 23 points. Not insurmountable though.
Oo.
But Samsi has been shooting really well. That one hitting the back iron.
Last shot of the quarter here. They should be the ones setting this up.
Very important possession for Caloocan here. As they will get the possession to start the fourth quarter. Valencia, kick out pass. Cervantes free for a free. No. 3 seconds remaining. Manlangit puts it up from the left corner. It's good from downtown. Just to beat the buzzer. And Caloocan getting a bit of a reprieve here. As the Quezon Huskers putting on a clinic on the defensive end. The highlights of the game. Nandito sa atin ang Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration.
Well, the third quarter started out a little bit slower for the Quezon Huskers. The fouls given up, but eventually they recovered and solved that full court pressure of the Caloocan team. Went to their threes, kicking out on weak sides, ball reversals, and Judel as well as Tamsi have really responded to the call and just kept knocking down those threes right side of the floor.
And we head into the fourth quarter. Quezon ahead by 20 over Caloocan, 66-46. Gixxer fan of the game, born for greatness. And certainly, masasaya ang mga Quezonians.
Yeah, the Quezon fans, I'm sure, having a lot of fun, especially with the way their Huskers are playing.
And you know, it doesn't matter which opponent they have. Halos napupuno nila tong venue na to palagi. Where a smiling attorney Don Capunan is always a welcome sight if you're a Quezonian.
Of course, always. Especially at home.
Oo naman.
And Coach Louie confirms that he is watching and he says regards to you, Ken.
Maraming salamat, Coach Louie.
Thank you for watching, Coach.
Ito may quarter scoring ha.
Oo.
Quezon, plus 10, plus 12. But Caloocan making some headway here in the third quarter. Pero naka-isa na naman si JP Sarao para dito sa Quezon.
Oh, actually maganda yung start nila doon sa third na yun. Remember, Jaggy Laude at one point became the leading scorer for their team. And then Manlangit closed out that quarter with a 3 after making one earlier. But it's just that yung sagot rin eh ng Quezon Huskers. How much more of the backside can you cover when you know na that strong ball side part of the floor is also a threat? So you got to pick your poison. You can't cover everything.
Chris Bitoon, Nomer Gonzalez in street
Yeah,
clothes.
those two guys definitely.
Si Gabi Espinas din, no? Malaking bagay
Yeah.
na wala sa kanila ngayon.
And I got to, I had a short chat with Coach Mike Sagigit. I think that was on the second game of him coaching itong Caloocan, and he says,
Yung sa Imus, di ba?
yung sa Imus, he says that with all the talent here in Caloocan, he's very excited to implement the system as LJ has not missed from 3.
11 points for LJ Gonzalez.
Yeah, it's 3 out of 3 from 3. And so far, between LJ and Judel, it's 9 out of 10.
Sa kung titignan mo yung shot distribution nitong Quezon, si Judel lang actually has the most number of attempts with 10. Pero sobrang kalat eh.
Oh, kalat.
Everyone gets to eat.
Yeah. And yun ang prinsipyo nila offensively. We're not passing based on personality. We're passing based on reads. And if you're on that side of the floor, which is a good read for us, you will get that ball, and you better make sure you make the right decision out of it.
They only have 2 guys averaging in double figures. That's Judel Fuentes and JP Sarao. Here's Fuentes who fires on net for free.
Tell you what, even on a shot, when I thought it was gonna go short, with the way he released it, still finds bottom of the net.
Quezon is 15 out of 30 from beyond the arc, and Judel Fuentes knocking down his 7th triple, pushing this lead up to 27, 74-47. Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. The storage shooting run continues from downtown. Galing dito sa Quezon Huskers. Sa panig ng Caloocan, susunod nilang kalaban, June 16. Ang Marikina Shoe Masters on the 23rd versus Manila Batang Quiapo. And then that big showdown on the 28th against the Abra Solid North Weavers.
I'm pretty sure for Coach Mike Sagigit, that's a marked date right there on June 28th. You always do that if you're going up against the Abra Weavers. Because they've been just a tough team to go up against.
Judel Fuentes, 21 points. All of his makes coming from beyond the arc. 7 of 8 shooting from that distance. 15 of 30. 50% shooting clip for Caloocan.
And Judel Fuentes is their leading scorer, their leading field goal maker, their leader in three-point makes, their leader in free throws. He has actually not missed a single free throw this season.
Yeah.
He hasn't.
Almost 2 minutes gone by. Quezon has been in the lead from the get-go. Never trailed in this match. Gonzalez, 2 FEU guys. And Gonzalez and Sanga. LJ trying to break down the defense of Sanga. Puts up a free off the heel. Rebound controlled by Caloocan. Jeremy Cabanag, swing pass. Sanga for free. It's good.
Well, that's one other guy who hasn't missed from 3 yet. Paul Sanga is 2 out of 2.
And just to inform you, Coach Mike, this is the most frees Judel has had this season. Previous high was 5 3-pointers knocked down in that game against Pasay where they lost.
Right. Tsaka yung yung mga games na Maganda yung start pero hindi masustain papunta sa dulo ng mga quarters. Yun ang nagiging challenge para dito kay Judel.
Bagsak si Cristorado after he got fouled.
I want to make a quick shout out to Jao Arsenas as well, my pamangkin, who's always watching the MPBL games.
Ooh. Paul Sanga got teed up. Apparently had choice words for our game official. The guy who hit the buzzer-beating shot from around 30 feet. Topeng Lagrama back in, the hometown hero.
Tsaka napaka-inspirational rin naman kasi ng kwento nito ni
naman.
Topeng Lagrama.
He played for Quezon National High School, but he didn't get a chance to play and study in college. And sumikat talaga ito sa mga ligang labas, and eventually finding his way to this really loaded and talented lineup ng Quezon. Before that though, he had a stint with Pampanga. He was also a crowd favorite.
Right.
In San Fernando, obviously.
Actually, that's where I first saw him play. And I was, man, this guy can hoop.
Oo naman.
Ang liit, pero this guy can hoop. And I'm not surprised that he's playing here at this level.
Saka napakatapang niyan.
Oo
He
naman.
won't back down from anybody. No matter what your height is, your experience. Same goes for this guy, Cristorado. Making both.
Kaya magandang matchup yung dalawang yan eh. Actually, tatlo yan eh, di ba? Itong si Cristorado, Topeng Lagrama, and who's that other one from nasa Iligan na kay Coach?
Ito si Jer Olegario.
Jer Olegario, that's right.
Yari tayo kay Coach Louie yan.
Oo. Ano yan? Energy bunny ni Coach Louie yan.
Oo.
And he just comes up with really good things once Coach Louie puts him in. Ano ni Coach Louie, ang ano raw is that yung timing when you're gonna insert him on the floor.
Yeah.
And
you know, with the pieces that he has, I mean, like I said, I haven't covered any Ilagan game this season, but from the ones I've watched, yung mga pyesa niya, somehow it fits it.
Yeah. I tell you, the record might not speak for itself, but Ilagan is one of the teams you don't want to meet in the playoffs because you're pretty sure you're gonna be in for a dogfight because those guys just compete. There's no give up from the very first possession up to the very last. At least that's how I perceive them to be. The games that I've covered and I've seen, and talagang consistent dun sa binitawan ni Coach Louie in the preseason where he said that this is going to be a very defensive team.
Yeah.
And so that's what they've been.
Sa poste pupunta ang Quezon. Fuentes na naman, bumukol sa tres. Wala yan this time.
He's
Cristorado.
missed a couple, no?
Oo, dalawa lang. JJ Manlangit powers through. Didn't matter the contact. Basket and one for JJ Manlangit.
Yeah, and they're getting the quality minutes from JJ Manlangit right now. Manlangit so far has got 9 points on a 3 of 7 shooting in 12 minutes of action.
This is the closest they've been since lumamang ng mahigit 20 puntos. Itong Quezon. Pwede pa ito 75-56. Campanal. Almost a steal, but only 3 under shot clock. Gabanal, the pass. Lagrama from almost half court. Almost.
Well, look good.
That would have brought the house down had that gone in. Cristorado maintaining his balance. Manlangit, Bubuos got a piece of that one.
And right now, Caloocan cannot afford to have empty possessions every time. They got to figure out
JP Sarao. 6 seconds on their shot clock. Gabanal, the bullet pass inside, magbuhos, malakas. Rebound, controlled by Manlangit. Halfway point of the fourth. Cabanag is free. Opts to draw closer. Good decision. He got fouled and he'll head to the line for 2 shots.
Sayang they had Paul Sang on the left side on the wing. And so far, he's been the best 3-point shooter. He hasn't missed any. He's 2 out of 2.
Meanwhile, maibalita tayo kay Miss Gianna Lianes.
Yes, kwento ni Jeremy Cabanag na dati ay nag-a-apply pa siya for coaching jobs sa ibang bansa. Pero ngayon, there is nowhere he would rather be but here in the Philippines playing in the MPBL. Siyempre, dahil sa sinalian nila na tournament off-season, siya ay naging finals MVP. Marami daw rin kasi siyang pinagdaanan sa basketball career niya. Pero ang Caloocan daw talaga ang nagpakita sa kanya ng kanyang potensyal. Sabi niya, hindi kasi sila nahihiya sabihin sa akin kung ano ang kailangan ko i-improve. At doon daw nabuo ang tiwala nila sa isa't isa. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Gianna. And, it's been a tough road for Jeremy Cabanag. He played for San Beda, but he was mostly a third-string guard. That was the Robert Bolick days. He was glued to the bench and didn't have that stellar career in the collegiate ranks. And ang dami natin narinig na kwento na ganyan na gusto na lang magtrabaho sa iba instead of playing basketball. But, some teams, especially here in the MPBL, have given guys like Jeremy an opportunity to shine. And boy, he had that stellar campaign last season. He was actually leading Caloocan in scoring for them as Jeff Panday able to score. Lamang bumaba sa 16 puntos, 75-59. This play of the game is brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
One of the very few times they got beat inner thirds of the floor. And Manday making the most out of it.
Coach Eric Gonzalez, Sues for time. We'll be back. Fan of the Game is brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Kumusta ka naman, Coach Mike?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just thinking about how I get to that reunion with our with our batchmates. Kasi yung may mga childhood friends namin came all the way from Negros, went here. They got in early this morning, and we're meeting them up later on.
8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists for Romel Calahat, 6, 4 and 3 naman for JP Sarao. That's our update on our player matchup today. It's many other guys who have stepped up. Judel Fuentes with 22 points.
And that's how quick LJ is. You need to have 2 guys guarding him as he tries to get the ball inbounds from the backcourt.
Malayo pa ito Quezon, hindi pwedeng makampante. We've seen Caloocan mount 2 comeback victories already this season.
And you still have Paul Sanga in there. Those threes are still going to be very possible.
High low.
Wow, that's too high.
Not a clean catch.
Too high.
Caloocan inuunti-unti tapyasan itong kalamangan.
Yeah, they went on that dribble handoff, eventually a slot to slot, which ended up in a high-low look. Pero sobrang taas ng pasa.
Valencia inside, can't hit it. Gonzalez. LJ behind the back.
Ooh.
Hard foul given up by Jeremy Cabanag. Ang galing ni LJ sa ganun He would make you commit one way and then go the other.
At saka pag full head of steam na siya pababa, wala na, mahirapan ka na. The only way you're gonna stop him is sa taas pa lang or sasabayan mo siya sa pag-layup niya inside the paint. which for the most part, you either foul him, send him to the line, or he makes that layup.
Actually, yun yung mahirap sa kanya eh. Full head of steam. Pero mayroon siyang ability to still change direction.
Yeah. This guy plays with a lot of pace.
Oo.
Ang next level kay LJ is the art of deceleration.
Oo.
He's too quick going downhill. Na minsan may mga instances na he has to slow down and for him to see, vision on the floor.
Valencia short again. Foul called on Quezon. They are in penalty. 2 free throws coming up for Romel Calahat. Third foul on Vince Magbuhos.
Well, Vince has not gotten himself going in this game. While he's been a help defensively, but he's so much better than how he's performed today.
Calahat getting the boost. But he has gotten under the skin of Romel Calahat o si Vince
Oo,
Magbuhos.
totoo naman. At saka he's had games where he's been really the primary guy for the Quezon Huskers. And right now, especially with how these guys are composed as a team and as a roster, it's really just different guys taking over in different games.
Lead at 16. Gabanal. Tamsi again. Hits the side of the backboard. Gets it back. LJ Gonzalez.
Wow.
Gabanal for free. No good.
Oh, man.
Multiple opportunities here for Quezon after Caloocan unable to secure the defensive board. LJ
wow.
splitting the defense. Goes up strong. It's good. Plus a foul. What a sequence for LJ Gonzalez.
Boy, we talked about LJ playing with a lot of pace, and surely pace and handles. Full display right there. Splits that double team, absorbs the contact, has enough balance to finish going glass. And don't you just love that version of LJ tonight if you're the Quezon Huskers?
Tabanag fouls out for Caloocan, finishing with a total of 9 points. 9 of 10 from the free throw line, but 0 of 6 from the field. It's been a tough outing tonight for Jeremy Gabanag.
Yeah. He really could not catch a good rhythm. In as much as he tried, he got touches, no? May mga touches siya eh, pero yung flow hindi niya makuha eh.
Calahat back to Brian Enriquez. Turnover na naman, the 15th for Caloocan. Gonzalez lost it. Rare miscue. 3-on-1 fast break. Manlangit can't finish. It's been that type of a ball game para dito sa Caloocan.
I'd say also, Ken, it's been that type of defensive game that Gab Banal has played.
Yeah.
He was outnumbered in that situation. He turned from one guy to the next, who's trying to make a layup inside the paint, in transition, and it's been just that good defensively.
It may not show up in the numbers, Coach Mike, but boy, Gab Banal set the tone defensively here tonight for Quezon.
Agree. He made that three, got good stops, refused to get screened, moved on his feet, and he took on everyone from guards all the way to the bigs.
No, this is a different role for him this time around for Quezon. His numbers really down. Remember, this was a former MPBL MVP back when he was playing for Bacoor.
Yes.
Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
And the guys behind us, the fans of the Huskers, are getting really loud because Eman Tagle is finally on the floor.
Pinagkaaguluhan pala to dito, si Eman Tagle.
Akala ko malakas na yung hiyaw kay Topeng Lagrama. Iba yung decibels nung kay Eman Tagle.
2:20 left here. Quezon up by 17 points. Gonzalez has been the man here in the fourth.
for the Huskers. He will slow things down here. Quezon 2-1 at home this season. Their lone loss against the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. Crossover, spin, the bump, the shot won't work. Last 2 minutes here, Caloocan. Lot of ground to make up here. Jeff Manday, laban kay Yero. Manday gets past Yero, lays it up, and he'll head to the line for 2 free throws.
Bigat ng depensa ng Quezon Huskers. Not even having your top 2 shooters tandem on one side of the floor could shift and stop the defensive activity of the Huskers. Manday and Manlangit were on that left side of the floor at the same time. Manday gave it up to Manlangit, made that corner fill. He got that ball on the corner, but still couldn't get off a shot because the defense just kept staying right in front of them.
And of course, the question is, when will the return of Crispito on be? Although the next 2 games, pretty much winnable for them. Kalaban nila Marikina, then Manila. But on the 28th, that's around roughly 3 weeks from now, 20 days from now. Tama, actually 3 weeks from now. Will that be enough time for Crispito to recover and be back for that big game? And finally, Vince Magbuos joining the party with a 3.
Right. And you know what? Much as we talked about how these Huskers have been good tonight, there are games where they need a little bit of edge, to which I feel that Gab Banal is the one who provides that for them. But let's not forget, Will Gozum is a guy that I think is going to come back this season. And curiously, how does that now, end up in the mix for Coach Eric and the Huskers?
Timeout. Galing dito sa Batang Kangkalu. At 16 ang lamang ng Quezon, 83-67. Head of Operations, Emerita Commissioner Kenneth Bremdes, and Head of Security, Rudy Distrito. Seeing the tail end of this one between Caloocan and Quezon. And the Quezonians, medyo hindi halata dito, pero they're a happy bunch right now because of this impending win by the Quezon Huskers over Caloocan. Yun, masaya siya.
Seeing smiles right there.
Hindi nila alam may camera eh.
Actually, dito sila sa likod natin. Ayan, kaway-kaway.
Ayan naman pala. Ang sasaya nila, no? Well, it's always good to be here in Lucena. And the fans here are pretty knowledgeable, pretty amicable. 70 seconds remaining. Jeff Manday, bonus free throw, good. Lead down to 15. Now, this was a golden opportunity for Caloocan to move up the team standings because Pampanga lost yesterday. They ran into a pretty determined Quezon Huskers raring to bounce back. And boy, Quezon bouncing back in a big way.
Tagle wants to take solo here against Enriquez.
Mantagle sa loob, floats it up. Can't get it to go. Manday pushing it. Jeff Manday. Fade away, no. He last second dishing it out to his 3x3 teammate, JJ Manlangit. Enriquez pupukol sa tres. Yes.
Right. That's the favorite spot of Brian Enriquez, that left side corner 3.
Jared Sevilla, another homegrown, comes in the last 35 seconds. How about Gab Banal, though?
Yeah. just a bundle of performance that he gave these Huskers. Defensively, the non-stat things.
Crowd darling pala dito si Mantagle, no?
Oo nga.
Manday able to steal the pocket. Lagrama, Enriquez puts up a free off the heel. And that should do it. Quezon bouncing back from that heartbreaking loss against Abra the last time out. And giving something for the Quezonians to be happy about. Winning this one. And they're 3-1 at home. Again, that lone loss kontra sa Pampanga. They won against Binyan, Isabela, and here against the Caloocan, Batang Kangkalu.
And I feel more than the win, it's the manner by which the Huskers have played together. And surely these Huskers feel deep in them that the Huskers are back to who they really are.
Our best player of the game is brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory, feel more game with 1xBet.
And Judel Fuentes, I mean, what more can you say? He's been shooting the lights out, 7 of 9 from 3. And 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 3 steals. And every time that they mounted a comeback, he just answered with his own triple.
And Judel Fuentes with those barrage of threes piloting Quezon. This very important win over Caloocan, 83-71. Let's go courtside to Miss Gianna Llanes.
Congratulations to our best player of the game, Judel Fuentes. Judel, napansin naman you guys had a lot of points, fast break points from turnovers, which is very similar actually sa ginawa ng Abra sa inyo from last game. Paano nakamotivate sa inyo na gusto nyo talagang bumawi from that last loss against Abra?
Unang-una, yung defense namin kasi against doon sa Abra is nag-collapse kami sa depensa namin, kaya yun siguro yung natalo kami sa mga turnovers namin. And yun, ngayon napakita namin yung depensa namin and nag-less turnover kami ngayong game na yun.
And Judel, hindi lang ikaw but a lot of your teammates were very efficient from beyond the arc. You had a lot of three-point shots as well. Paano nyo sinisigurado na effective kayo from the three-point line?
Every practice namin, nag-uusap-usap kami mga players na kailangan namin bumawi sa game na to kasi nga last game namin against Abra is talagang pangit yung mga laro namin. And then ngayon, credits din sa mga coach na nagtrabaho talaga and kami din mga players na nagtrabaho din sa loob ng court.
Judel, I'm sure malaking bagay din ang encouragement ng inyong home crowd. Ano ang mensahe mo sa kanila at sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa inyo?
Sa lahat ng mga taga-Quezon, salamat po sa lahat ng mga suporta nyo. Matalo-matalo. Salamat pa rin sa walang sawang suporta nyo sa amin.
Sino pa ang gusto mong pasalamatan?
Una-una nagpapasalamat ako kay Lord sa binigay niyang panalo and thank you din po kay Governor Helen Tan, kay Boss RD na nanonood ngayon, and kay Kong Mike, kay Doc Kim Tan, and kay Mayor Ralph Lim, and sa pamilya ko sa Davao, sa asawa ko, and sa makulit ko na dalawang anak, kay Mateo and kay Matia, and kay Sevi na nandito ngayon, and kay Boss Marion, sa mama papa ko, and sa biyanan ko, Bakmi Davao, Bakmi Makati, Mawab, and sa lahat ng nakasuporta sa amin.
Thank you very much and congratulations to our best player of the game, Judel Fuentes of the Quezon Huskers. Our best player of the game is brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Back to you, Ken and Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Gianna. A bright smile and a win for Judel Fuentes and the rest of the Quezon Huskers. On Monday, we will be at the Bago Arena in Manila starting at 4 p.m. Marikina Shoemasters going up against the Pangasinan Heatwaves, Muntinlupa Cagers, laban naman sa Jensen Warriors in that South Division showdown. And to cap things off, Manila Batang Quiapo will defend their turf against the Ilagan Isabela Cowboys. And that does it for our coverage here from Lucena, Quezon. On behalf of Coach Mike Perez, Miss Gianna Llanes, and our entire crew, ako po si Ken Pangalinan. Maraming salamat sa pagsubaybay sa Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.